Hey, so welcome. This is German 1, Chapter 4. This is the Kapitel for the Deutsch Aktuell 1. So I just want to go over these things. So if you'll start with me, you remember every chapter has 3 sections. So start with me, please. Auf Seite 119 oder 101. So page 119 if you have a 7th edition, 101 if you have a 5th or a 6th edition. 119 oder 101. So we have words for a classroom. And so you can see there's a significant amount that has been updated, and it's because they want to teach you some of the more modern terms in a classroom. And then there's a few things that I've included from the older edition, just so that if you have a newer edition, you still can learn them. And so that is the very first word here, die Kreide, which is chalk. And then if you look down here, you have Tafel, die Tafel, which is like the board or chalkboard, and Tafellappen, which is literally the rag that is used to wipe it. Right? So let's begin. 119 oder 101. So I'm going to start with der Lehrer, that is a male teacher, or die Lehrerin. Now, the plural of the male teacher, you see that little dash next to it? That means it's one Lehrer or two Lehrer. It doesn't change. But the female teacher is, one is Lehrerin, more than one is Lehrerinnen. You add the N-E-N to it. All right, then Bleistift, Computer, Heft, Kuli, Landkarte, right? And then some of these newer words, laptop, which you can figure out, of course, but you just need to know it is der laptop, and LCD-Projektor, which I'm sure you can figure that out too, except you need to know that it is also masculine. And then das Papier, das Poster, die Schultasche, der Stift, der Stuhl, das Tablet, again, a borrowed in word, but I want you to know the gender. It's borrowed in as neuter. Der Tisch, die Uhr, das whiteboard. And of course, you notice that die Uhr means clock. And you have learned that die Uhr is like the o'clock, like what time is it? Wie viel Uhr ist es? So when it is used as a clock, it has a feminine gender. When it's used in telling time, like wie viel Uhr, we don't use an article in front of it. Right, then questions about school. Wer ist dein Deutschlehrer? So who is your teacher? Was brauchst du? And you learn the verb brauchen, that means to need. Meinst du? Ohne Rechner geht's nicht. Nervös, schwer, and leicht. So when I'm taking a test, I might be nervous, and I might feel that the test is schwer oder leicht. Right, now, auf Seite 134 oder 117. So now turn to 134 if you have a new edition. Turn to 117 if you have a 5th or a 6th edition. Okay. Was für Fächer hat er? Right. Was lernt sie? Was ist dein Lieblingsfach? Was für eine Note bekommst du? Der Computer ist gut genug. Es klingelt. Warum denn? Du hast recht. Right? And then our class day or schedule. So I have, first of all, der Stundenplan, which is the class schedule. And literally, Stunde means an hour. So your Stundenplan is the plan of the hours. How do you spend the hours of your school day? Die große Pause. So that's your long recess. So German schools often have a kurze Pause mid-morning, just a short break, and then a große Pause over lunch. And a lot of people actually walk home for lunch and eat lunch there. So they have like an hour off. Right. Then here are my subjects: Biologie, Chemie, Deutsch, English, Erdkunde, Französisch, Geschichte, Informatik, Kunst, Mathematik or Mathe for short, Musik, Physik, Religion, and Sport. But if you talk about the Sportstunde, the sport hour, that would be your PE class. Okay, now auf Seite 139 oder 121, your long list. So let me just direct your attention to the slide for a minute. So you have die CD, right? Klavier, Kreide, Kunst, and then laptop, LCD-Projektor, Lineal, Naturwissenschaften, that is a plural word. It's the natural sciences. Poster, tablet, treffen, that's a verb that means to meet, and das whiteboard. So those are the differences in the books. All right, now let's go through. We have Arbeit, auf, Bayern, bekommen, Biologie, Bleistift, brauchen, Bundesland, Bus, CD, Chemie, dunkel, English, Erdkunde, erst, Fach. So one subject is das Fach. The plural is Fächer. So on one of the other sentences on one of the other divisions of vocabulary, asked, welche Fächer, what subjects is he taking? Right? Fast has nothing to do with fast. It means almost. Finden, Französisch, froh, früh, and then Frühstück. So Stück means a piece. So Frühstück is your early piece, right? That's breakfast. Frühstück. Genug. Gern haben. Gern haben means to like. So if I say, ich habe Schokolade gern, it means I like chocolate. So remember that gern, we memorize that it means gladly. So if I say I have it gladly, that's a way of saying I like it. Geschichte, Haus, Heft, Herbst, herkommen. And notice that verb can come apart. I haven't taught you how that works yet, but look at that. Komm her. You see how the first part of it dropped to the end of the sentence? And we also saw a verb like that in Fernsehen, like ich sehe fern. I'm watching TV. And we're getting there. We're going to learn about those verbs, but I want you to start noticing them as we learn them. And Informatik, Aufgabe, Jed. So the JED is Jed, and you see that dash, it's going to have an ending. You remember when we talked about mein, like mein Vater, and meine Mutter, you put the E, so that Jed would look the same way. So every man would be jeder Mann, but every woman would be jede Frau, J-E-D-E, jede Frau. Kaufen, Klavier, Klasse. So Klasse as a noun can mean my class, but also Germans will use it as an explanation, like that's awesome. Klasse. Klingeln, klug. Kuli, Kunst, Laptop, Landkarte, lang or lange, langsam, langweilig, Latein, LCD-Projektor, and then Lehrer, Lehrerin, leicht, lernen. So lernen can mean to learn, but it also can mean like to study. So like ich lerne Deutsch could be like I'm studying German. Lieblingsfach, manchmal, Mathematik, meinen, nervös, then nie, noch, Note, ohne, Papier, Pause, Physik, Poster, Rechner, and then this recht means right, but there's this idiom recht haben that means you are right. So if I say ich habe recht, I'm saying no, I'm right. Or maybe I'm going to finally give in and I'm going to say, okay, you're right. Du hast recht. Okay. Religion, Schulfreund, Schultasche, schwer, Sport, Stift, Stimmen. So again, that ST, like in Stift and Stimmen, sounds like an SH in it. And then das stimmt means, that's right. Das stimmt. And Stuhl, Stundenplan, Tablett, Tisch, Treffen, warten, whiteboard, it's borrowed in, and wie viele. So that's your vocabulary for this chapter.